Hey everybody, welcome back to Brainiac Baseball's 1985 Detroit Tigers season replay. Today's matchup is between the Detroit Tigers and the Toronto Blue Jays at Exhibition Stadium. On the mound for the Tigers today is Dave Rozema, whose record is 0-2 with a 6.03 ERA. And pitching for the Blue Jays is Jimmy Key, whose record is 5-1 with a 3.53 ERA. Okay, yesterday was a big day. Not only did we get the victory, as Brian Kelly pitched a pretty decent game, but we also had the amateur draft. It took place after the game. That's why we had a video that was an hour long. Probably the last 30 minutes of that video is me pontificating and trying to decide which player is the best to go forward. And we'll take a look here at our roster now that we've drafted these players. A lot of some players moved up in the minor leagues, and we'll show you who those are. First of all, I cut 3 Tigers hitters yesterday. I got rid of Tucker Ashford, who we signed thinking that we might need a backup third baseman at AAA. And with the accelerated progress of Mike Pagliarulo, we don't need him anymore. And his rating was under 70. It was a 69, so we cut him. Also, I cut, what was his name? The backup catcher. Oh, son of a bitch, I can't think of his name. He was rated a 71 and in AAA. And I cut him because we drafted a catcher. And you really can't have more than 2 catchers at any level and allow them to succeed. We have Rich Gedman, and now we have Doug Davis. The third player that I cut was Eddie Miller, not Eddie Milner. Eddie Miller was a Tiger that we've had for like 3 years now, and he's been a good fourth outfield option, but he was under a 70 rating. He was a 69. And so we cut him. We had to pay them out. It was all very minor amounts to get rid of those 3 players. I'm sure the catcher will come to me here momentarily. But so what we ended up doing is promoting to AAA Shane Turner, Doug Davis, Mark Ryle, and Ricky Jordan. So those 4 players got promoted from AA to AAA. And when I go to promote players, usually I do it based on their age or on how long they've been at AA. If they've had a couple of years of seasoning down there, like Shane Turner has, why not give him the promotion at age 22 to AAA? Now, does he have the ratings to help us? Not really. Defensively, not great either. In the old days of me playing Baseball Mogul, I would just cut him, because I don't know what value this guy could have for us. He's got a 55 power. That is the lowest power you'll ever see in this game. He's never had a home run since high school. So, yeah, weird. But anyway, we promoted those 4 guys. And then we promoted from single A to double A, Chris Hoyles, Jeff Conine, and Matt Williams. So we've got our 2 catchers, Mike McFarland and Chris Hoyles, now at the AA level. Jeff Conine and Matt Williams moving up. And then we have our 3 newcomers to go with Sandy Alomar, Tino Martinez, Reggie Sanders, and Joe Siddall. All those 3 players were drafted yesterday. Now we'll take a look here at our pitchers. Getting promoted was Terry Taylor and Vicente Palacios, and promoted in single A to double A was not John Davis, so just Barry Manuel and Larry Carter. Neither one of those guys particularly great, but you can see Larry Carter has paid his dues in single A ball. And then we drafted Jim Abbott, Mike Whiteside, and Jaime Navarro. So we've got some good pitchers down here in single A, but everywhere else we're kind of sad shape. Okay, so the other thing that I did with the roster is I went through and I changed those who need to be changed to not available for trades, and some of them I made on the block, you know. Now, the other thing we're going to do, not before we start the game, but afterwards, we're going to go back when the game is over and look at all the players that were forcibly retired by the game yesterday and just give a quick analyzation of their careers. Okay, so that's what we have to look forward to after the ball game. Let's go ahead and get today's game started. As always, I appreciate everyone following along. Like and or subscribe to the channel. We are facing a left-hander today, as we've got Dave Rozema on the mound. Rosie getting his second start since coming back into the rotation. It's going to be a battle between Rosie, Danny Jackson, and Dan Schatzeder of who's going to get that fifth spot. I have no idea how that's going to play out. All the bullpen is available. Of course, David Cohn is injured, and he won't be back for a week. And then we've got Jimmy Key, who's the left-hander we're facing. Willie Wilson gets back into the lineup today. And I cannot justify starting Lou Whitaker, Kirk Gibson, or George Brett against the left-hander. Can't do it. All three are on major league contracts. We've only got 4 players on major league contracts. Willie Wilson, who's now batting 9th, Whitaker, Gibby, and George Brett, and none of them are worth starting, but we got to have Willie Wilson in there for his defense. Okay, let's go ahead and do the lineup rundown for the Tigers. Batting leadoff, playing shortstop, is Barry Larkin. Batting second, at second base, is Doug Baker. Batting third and DHing is Terry Kennedy. Batting cleanup and catching is Damon Berryhill. Batting fifth at first base is Rusty Tillman. Batting sixth in right field is Jim EISENREICH. Batting seventh in left field is Kevin Bass. Batting eighth at third base is Mike Pagliarulo. And batting ninth is the center fielder, Willie Wilson. Okay, Jimmy Key starting to come into his own. He is making his 14th start. He's 5-1 with a 3.53 ERA. 67 strikeouts in 91 2/3 innings pitched. Opponents are batting .268 against him. 3 complete games and his first career shutout this year. Fastball topping out at 89 miles an hour. Ground ball percentage is 46%. He's got 1 good pitch. That's a curveball. Rated an 86. Overall rated an 84. The 24-year-old lefty is arbitration eligible next year. And you'll see that against Detroit, back on April 19th, he went 8 innings, giving up 2 runs. None of them were earned. He did not walk anybody, and he struck out 6. He got the victory. And then on May 13th, he went 8 innings, giving up 2 runs on 9 hits. Didn't walk anyone and struck out 10. So he's yet to walk a batter versus Detroit, and he struck out 16. He's coming off a victory, a complete game win, versus Baltimore, where he gave up 1 run. No earned runs. So 1, 2, 3 games this year in which he did not give up an earned run. Okay, let's take a look at the defense for the Blue Jays. It is the same lineup as yesterday. Everybody sucks, with the exception of Terry McGriff, rated an 83 behind the plate. Okay, here we go. Jimmy Key facing Barry Larkin. Larkin right at 300 with 2 home runs, popping it up right near the second base bag. Play made by LaRue, Washington. So, yeah, okay, I'm sorry. LaRue, Washington back in there for Danny Ainge, who got to start yesterday. 1 down, Doug Baker hitting a ground ball to short. 2 down as Jeff Huson makes the play. And Terry Kennedy officially off the trade block And that's why base hit up the middle. Guys rated as 74. And all he does is rake, batting .319 with 10 home runs. Runner on first. Here is Damon Berryhill. Starting to come around a little bit. Oh, he's batting .192 as a Tiger. That's not coming around at all. 2-0 count. And a base at the right. That'll get Kennedy to third. First and third. 2 down. Got the 2-out rally. And it's Rusty Tillman. He bats .266 versus lefties, but he does not drive in runs. He just wanted to have a right-hander behind Berryhill, and that comes through with the base hit. There we go. 1-0 Detroit. We scored all 3 runs in yesterday's game in the top of the first. Let's see if we can't pile on. First and second, 2 down. Here's Jim EISENREICH. Never faced Jimmy Key, supposedly. And a ground ball to short. That should be out number 3. It is. We go to the bottom of the first. Tigers up a run thanks to the Tillman RBI. Here's the lineup for the Blue Jays today. Batting leadoff, playing second base is LaRue, Washington. Batting second in right field is Ruben AMARO Jr. Batting third at third base is Denny Gonzalez. Batting cleanup in left field is Antonio Aguilera. Batting fifth and DHing is Van Snider. Batting sixth in center field is Lloyd Moseby. Batting seventh and catching is Terry McGriff. Batting eighth at first base is Willie UPSHAW. And batting ninth is the shortstop, Jeff Huson. Okay, Dave Rozema staked to a lead. He's making his 7th start, 0-2, with a 6.03 ERA. 24 strikeouts in 59 2/3 innings. Opponents are batting .285 against him. No complete games. He's got a save and a bluey. Fastball topping out at 89 miles an hour. Ground ball percentage is 55%. He's got the sinker. That's about it. Rated an 80. Overall rated a 79. The 28-year-old right-hander is a free agent at the end of the year. We have him on the block, but he's untradeable. He has a no-trade clause. Now he's coming off a pretty good start against the Brew Crew. He went 5 innings, giving up 1 run on 6 hits. He walked 1. He struck out 2. That is a success in my book. Let's take a look at our defense. We are good everywhere. And yet we make errors at the same rate as everybody else. Behind the plate is Berryhill. And we've got LaRue, Washington, leading it off versus Dave Rozema. Let's get some ground balls. Let's get some easy outs. Pitch to contact. Washington lining it to left. Gibby will make the catch. That's not Gibby out there. I'm sorry. That's Kevin Bass. 1 out. Next man up is Ruben AMARO. He's got a fly ball to left center. Who's going to call that one? Wilson or Bass? It's just flied out to left, so maybe Bass made the first 2 plays. And Denny Gonzalez sitting on 11 home runs. A comebacker to Rosie, and that'll do it. We go to the top of the second after the 1-2-3 inning. It is Kevin Bass leading it off versus Jimmy Key. And Bass will strike out. 1 down. There's Mikey Pags batting .333 versus lefties. And he strikes out looking as well. Got to take the bat off your shoulder. 2 down. Let's get another 2-out rally going with Willie Wilson. And a base hit to left. Do we want to go for 2? No, we don't. We never try to stretch it, and we never try to steal. Runner on first. Here's Barry Larkin back to the top of the lineup. And he walks. That was a close pitch. Just outside the zone. First and second, a lot of speed on the base path. Dougie Baker up. We like Doug. He can be clutch sometimes. And a ground ball to third. And that'll end the inning. Strand 2 more runners. We go to the top, up to the bottom of the second inning, and it's Antonio Aguilera leading off. There's a routine ground ball to third. Pags making the play. 1 out. Van Snider rips it into right field for a single. Snider on first. He's got power. He's got speed. Will he be going? We'll find out. With Dave Rozema on the mound, I would absolutely be running. Full count to Moseby. Oh, that's a ground ball to second. That's going to be a tough double play. Only play was to get Moseby at first. 2 outs. Here's the catcher, McGriff. He had a big hit yesterday. His 8th home run. And a fly ball into left. Kevin Bass making the catch again. Rosie looking good. We go to the top of the 3rd. Here's TK leading off. He's 1 for 1. And he'll take ball 4. That will bring up the hit and run. We don't want to ground into a double play with 2 catchers going. 0-2. No, no, no! Strike him out, throw him out. Come on, man. That's stupid. And then Tillman, 2 for 2 with a base hit. Runner on first. Here's Jimmy EISENREICH. Tigers are getting hits. I mean, they're falling in with these terrible outfielders. That's why we're stranding all these runs. We are incapable of driving in anybody. Yep, it's going to carry deep enough to be caught. So we've stranded 6 runners through 3 innings. Bottom of the 3rd. Tigers are up a run. Willie UPSHAW. Base hit to center. Only the 2nd hit so far. Let's get a double play. We're going to pull 3rd base in. I don't think HUSON would bunt. And UPSHAW caught stealing. Great. Good job by BERRYHILL finding some way to contribute. 50%. Caught stealing percentage. We like that. Bases are empty. We'll put PAGLIARULO back at his normal position. And the ball goes to Pags for out number 2. Back to the top of the lineup with LaRue. And another pop-up, this time to 3rd. That will do it. We go to the top of the 4th. And PAGLIARULO will lead it off. He struck out the first time up. Popping it up here. 1 out. Willie's up next, and a base hit to left. We're going to hit and run. Didn't work last time. Hard hit, ground ball to second, Washington. Only play to first. And we're leaving it up to Doug Baker to come through. Now, this is the only thing I can think of. Let's say, okay, if you only have 4 players on your roster that are hitters that have major league contracts, maybe they just don't have the ability to come through. You know, like maybe they haven't been around a lot, they haven't developed enough, you know. And maybe that's why we're not driving in runs. Baker grounding out to the pitcher. Bottom of the 4th. Dave Rozema has got his ERA down under 6. Ruben AMARO leading it off. Wow, that's 4 in a row to Pags. This game is definitely broken. That one looks like it's the Larkin. At least we're getting ground balls. That's what you would expect from Rosie. And a ground ball to Larkin. Loving it. We go to the top of the 5th. TK leading off. Popping up. Kennedy was 1 for 1 with a walk. 1 down. BERRYHILL, the ground ball to short. 2 outs, and Rusty lines it to left. A 1-2-3 inning for Keith. We go to the bottom of the 5th, and Van Snider will lead it off. Snider has one of the 2 hits for the Blue Jays. And he's got another. That's a double, baby. 3. It is a stand-up triple for Van Snider, his first of the season. We'll bring first base in. Otherwise, we'll, with that kind of speed, we'll relinquish the run. If it's hit to Tillman, he can hold the runner, in theory. There we go. Game is tied. Moseby. Sac fly, and it's 1-1. Terry McGriff with the ground ball to Larkin. 2 outs. And Willie UPSHAW lining it to left. Caught by Bass. Okay, top of the 6th. Blue Jays evened it at 1. EISENREICH popping it up. Jimmy Key. Next pitch will be his 90th. Of course, Bass can't take more than 1 pitch. And Pags. Oh, Mikey Pags pulls it. Lefty on lefty violence. That is Pagliarulo's 5th home run of the season. How do we ever put George Brett in the lineup? I did take Thomas D's advice. I put George Brett on the trading block. He's got an 84 rating. That's got to be good for somebody out there. I hate to trade him, but can't keep him if he can't do anything. Okay, we get the run back by the Pagliarulo home run. It's 2-1. At this point, Rosie's only thrown 49 pitches. But we got to keep him on a short leash. HUSON with a fly ball to left. 1 out. Back to LaRue. Washington, a high fly ball. Center field, all the way to the warning track, 388 feet. 2 outs. And Ruben AMARO popping it up on the infield. 6 solid innings for Dave Rozema. Looks like he might be our number 5 starter. We go to the top of the 7th. Barry Larkin leading it off. Man, we need a leadoff hit. Larkin grounding out to third. Baker grounding out to short. TK popping up. Wow. I don't think we've had a hit other than the home run since the 3rd inning. Okay, I'm going to let Rosie face Denny Gonzalez, righty on righty, and then I think we got to be concerned after that. Okay. Denny Gonzalez popping it up. Yeah, Aguilera bats 200 versus righties. 2-1 count. High fly ball into center. And I think that will do it. We're going to take Rosie out. Only 62 pitches. 6 2/3 innings, giving up 1 run. And we're going to bring in Danny Jackson. Lefty on lefty. Van Snider batting 229 versus lefties. Looks like he's got some home runs. Ground ball to second. And Baker makes the play. Moving on to the 8th inning. Don Gordon coming in. Saw him yesterday. How did he do? 1 inning, 1 inning, struck 1 batter out. Damon Berryhill leading off. Berryhill, I think we've got, oh, he's safe on an error. The second baseman, Washington, boots it. Berryhill now 1 for 4 with the strikeout today. I mean, we're going to hit and run. There we go, right field. Berryhill going to third. First and third, nobody out. We're going to pinch run for Berryhill. I guess it's going to be Gibby coming in. Make sure I put Marty Party in there. We're going to go on contact. Eisenreich, a good contact hitter. We'll take a double play if we can get Gibby in there. 1-0. High fly ball to center field. That should make it easy for Gibby. He's going to tag and score. And it's 3-1 Detroit. 1 out. Kevin Bass, 0 for 3 today. Popping it up. And Mikey Pags has one big hit today. And a comebacker to Gordon. And that will do it. Okay, so let's get our defense right. Gibson will go out to left field. Technically an upgrade. Marty Party will come in to catch. Technically an upgrade defensively. And we'll see what Danny Jackson does here. With all these lefties, starting with Lloyd. 1-2. A tapper back to Jackson. Danny tosses him out. Fred McGriff, I'm concerned. I mean, Terry McGriff, not Fred. That's a base hit. That could be 2. All the way to the wall. A double for T. Grizzle. That's his 10th. All right. I'm not really worried about that run. I am worried about this run. 0-2 count to Upshaw. Ground ball to first. That'll get McGriff over. This will be the last batter for Danny Jackson no matter what. And he walked him, of course. The game does that every time to bring up to force a change. So we'll bring in Jeff Huson. We will guard the lines. One thing we don't have to worry about is LaRue Washington hitting a home run. Okay, now I don't give a fuck. Okay. We go to the 9th inning. Jim Acker coming in. Maybe their best pitcher. I don't think he's actually their closer. Probably should be. Willie Wilson with a single. That's the 10th hit for the Tigers. Barry Larkin. We're not even going to hit and run. Doesn't matter. He pops it up. Larkin 0 for 4. Let's see if Doug Baker can drop it like it's hot. Yes, he does. Wilson in scoring position for TK. Kennedy 1 for 3 with a walk. Second walk. And that'll bring up Gibby. Gibby's going to face a right-hander. First at bat of the game. And a base hit for Gibby. Get down. Wilson will score. Oh, no, it's caught. Oh, no. I thought Gibby made the catch. Oh, man. All right. It's been a good game so far. We got our closer, Dave Smith, coming in. 21 saves. He has as many saves already as he did last year in half the games. Of course, he's pitched in over half the games this year. Denny Gonzalez leading off. 1-0 count. There's a routine ground ball to third. 1 out. Antonio Aguilera. A looper into left. Come on, Gibby, you got it. Gibson making the catch. And it's down to Van Snider. He's the only guy that brought his bats today. He's 2 for 3. Has 16 home runs this year. Oh, and now the tying runs on first. Lloyd Moseby. Infield single. Is the game over? That is the question. Yep. We lost. And there it is. All right. Let's see if there's any trade offers. George Brett, immediately an offer. Nobody we want. Standings. Headline news. Angel, oh, there's a trade. Let's take a look at the trade. We got a lot of things to look at here. Okay, first of all, wait. Where's the trade at? Wow, this is all fucked up. This game sucks. Okay, so somehow ahead of the draft, Baltimore trades Tommy Herr to the Angels on the Major League roster. And in return, Baltimore gets Bob Wells and Paul McClellan. Baltimore does need relievers, so that's not the worst thing in the world. So is Baltimore giving up? And who is Baltimore's second baseman? Steve Lombardozzi will get the job instead of Alan Bannister. Oh, yeah. I guess that's how it works. Yeah, I mean, that's, another dumb thing this game does. It's just stupid. But, that's the game for you. Are they giving up? What are they doing? I don't know. Okay. Yeah, so there is a trade. And we scroll down all this shit here. And then Mike Jones is going to be injured for 3 months. Starting pitcher for the Royals. Oh, are they going to Dennis Leonard out of AAA now? Let's find out. Let's find out. Yeah, they're calling up Dennis Leonard. Still holding on with the 72. Made 11 starts last year. He's pretty much toast. All right, and then Otis Nixon of the Yankees is going to be out a month. They have all kinds of outfield options there, I think, right? That Rupert Jones is going to get the job. Oh, Lee Mazzilli is going to be their starting center fielder in that situation. And mixing up their lineup. Rupert Jones still on the bench. Maybe they'll platoon, I don't know. Okay. And then John Smoltz, who was just drafted, got into a game, fractured his foot. He's done for 2 weeks. All right, so there were a bunch of retirements after the draft yesterday. They got to make room for all the new players, right? So let's just quickly look at the retirements. Mark Bomback. This is what this guy was every 4-day, 5-day starter for the Blue Jays. Had one good year. For the Mets. I'm sorry. Retired from the Mets. He had one good year in 1981. Then we had Lemmer. He's basically was never given a shot. Henry Cruz. This guy played probably more than he should have. And he did well. He batted .325. He batted .328. Makes no sense, but... and then Barbaro. We tried to give him some opportunities. But he was never someone who had a good rating, and there was no reason to call him up. So I cut him maybe in the spring this year, and now he is retired. Jim Dwyer, oh yeah, I forgot. We gave him a shot. We hired him off the scrap heap last year for 13 games. It could have been worse. Hitting better than George Brett right now. So he played every year until this year. Got some regular ABs. Then we have Don Baylor. Baylor played for California for 4 years, and that was it for him. Put up some decent numbers. Kenny Singleton. This guy always had a terrible defensive rating, but they ran him out there all the time. And, 13, 12, 12, 5 home runs, 25 doubles. It's kind of amazing. Jeff Burrows. His son just passed away in real life. Sorry that happened. That's a real bummer. But he did get some PT in our sim. Michael Jack. I mean, this game sucks. I mean, this is why this game blows. The guy hits 45 home runs in 79, the year that we build our sim off of, and then they just can't even find a way to play him every year. And then he got traded to the Astrodome, which is no place to hit home runs. Sorry, Michael Jack. One of my all-time favorite players, as you know. Warren Cromartie retired. Great defensive outfielder, had a cannon. Got to play a little bit for Montreal and Toronto in our sim. Ken Griffey Jr., senior, a good consistent player for 4 seasons. Didn't play in 84 or this year. George Hendrick, spotty. And Buck Martinez, now a announcer for the Blue Jays. And wait, is he the Blue Jays or is he for my Arizona team? No, he's the Blue Jays announcer now. All right, Al Cowens, he was still playing in 85, but not in our sim. Here's a guy that barely got 100 at bats since we started simming. Willie Norwood, spotty. Rick Dempsey, backup catcher, still playing in 85. Bruce Kim, former Detroit Tiger, shown here with the White Sox. He was Mark Fidrich's favorite catcher. That's why he got those 152 at-bats in 76. And Barry Foote got to play with the Cubs a little bit. And then we have Tom Donahue. Split time in 80 and a little bit of time in 81. Dave Skaggs, Baltimore backup catcher a little bit. Steve Swisher, Swishalicious, the father of Swishalicious. He had 190 at-bats with the Cardinals. Glenn Burke, he got about 200 plus at-bats for Oakland. Makes sense. Gary Maddox, really an underrated player. Look at how good he was in the 70s. He was good. But in our sim, he was pinch hitter and 4th outfielder. And then Andre Dawson, This tells you all you need to know about Baseball Mogul. What a piece of shit game this is. Look at this. We had to give him 510 at-bats for him to hit 15 home runs. By age 27, which is usually the peak year for a ball player, he was done. This game had him done. And now he's out at age 30. Roland Office. Office had a better career than Andre Dawson. 20 home runs, 13 home runs, and then he couldn't play anymore. But he was on the right team. Expos, they never developed players. Larry Harlow. That first year, I feel like he beat us a couple of times. Fred Kendall, catcher, got 57 at-bats in 1980, and that was it. Tony Armas, we tried to give him some at-bats. He did hit 3 home runs for us in 1980. But again, here's a guy that hit 40 home runs multiple times, led the American League in home runs, and he got nothing in this game. Mike Caldwell got into 5 games for the Brewers in 1980. That was it. Dan Spillner, 10 total games in our sim. Jim Barger, never played. Just now retiring. Alan Worth threw that frickin' complete game at the end of the 1980 season when we were in the playoff chase. I will never forget that game. If you go back to the 1980 playlist, I want to say it was in like the last week of the season. He threw that complete game against us when, he had a 7+ ERA, and he was 3-13, and he just absolutely shut us down like Baseball Mogul does. Gary Serum got into 5 games in 1980. That was it. Rick Aponte, we gave him a shot. He did all right. That was all he ever got. Joe Kerrigan, another Tigers pitcher, we gave a shot. That was it for him. And Rick Waits, no longer waiting for retirement. He is filing the paperwork, and he has not pitched since 1982. And then we know about the John Smoltz. So there you go. Those are all the retirements. I just kind of wanted to recap that so that everyone knew who got retired. That's the most I've ever seen because of the draft, getting automatically retired. Player of the game, no one deserves it. I hate this fucking game. But I will give it to Rusty Tillman, who had 4 hits. He did manage to drive in a run. This game was over before it started. I know that it was a last-minute rush, but this game was never going to be a win. When you have your best pitchers in there, after Dave Rozema throws 6 innings, 6 2/3 innings, and the game absolutely collapses on you in the last inning, you never were going to win that game. So that's the way it is. So that'll do it. We will come back tomorrow and start a brand new series versus the Red Sox. I think now it's safe to say we're probably not going to make the playoffs in this final year. So I don't mind if people start checking out. We do have 18 more days until we have our next giveaway. So there's one thing to look forward to. And, of course, in the month of July, we do have the All-Star game, which is always fun. So a couple things to look forward to going forward. But I think this was probably the final nail in our coffin. We will not probably make the playoffs, which is a real bummer. And I think part of that is the injuries to the pitcher, despite us having the 5th best money toward team medicine, so I don't know. I guess it's just the way the game's designed. All right, we're going to come back tomorrow. Try it again. Until then, everyone, have a great day.